Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and today I don't know, listen, I don't know how to start this video, and I feel like once I just start it, we'll get into it, and I'll have plenty to say, but I cannot escape the carnivore diet on my little niche corner of the YouTube recommended page, okay? For whatever reason right now, all the girlies I follow are doing this carnivore diet. Not all of them. let's be serious. Amberlynn is not doing the carnivore diet, but all the other girlies, well, not all of them, all the girlies are doing this carnivore diet, and I'm just like, what is going on? Because it just feels like a lot. Now, if you don't know what the carnivore diet is, it basically comes down to you just eat meat and animal fats. Meat and animal fats, and that's it. So you're gonna see whenever I'm talking about some of this shit, people are literally just eating beef and butter. That's their diet. And I'm just okay, live your truth. And I have to say, I'm not completely ignorant to the carnivore diet. I've known about it for a while. I used to do famously, well, if you've never watched my channel before, maybe not famously, but I have mentioned many times on my channel before that for a couple years I did eat a keto diet. And for me, what that meant, I know for a lot of people, keto is low carb, high fat, that's your diet. But for me, it was really focused on just eliminating carbs because I had a really unhealthy relationship with some pasta, some bread, some potatoes. Either way, my diet when I did that was mostly eat a protein, eat a vegetable. Certainly you had to consider what types of vegetables you were eating, but you get the point. But carnivore is the more intense cousin of that diet. She's intense, she's more strict, you only eat meat and fat related to said meats. And some people also include things like eggs and stuff like that, that's also included for a lot of people. And I don't know if I'm necessarily here to pass judgment on the carnivore diet. I certainly don't want to offend anybody in the comment section if y'all love it. But I certainly can't escape it right now, and I just need to get this out, and I just need to talk about it. And certainly now that I'm going to talk about it, I'm sure even more will pop up, that's how the things on the internet work. But yeah, it feels like a lot. And I will also say this video in particular is encouraged, instigated, inspired by hungry fat chick who just recently came out saying she was going to start a carnivore diet.
All right, I'm just going to say it. And my plant-based and vegetarian and vegan friends and fans are going to be extremely disappointed in my choice. Folks are going to be worried about my health, because it is very drastic. This is an extreme thing for me. For anybody. But if you do the research on it and all of the testimonials from different people, from Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, and many others, Dr. Ken Berry, I've watched video after video after video of him talking about carnivore, okay? Animals. I'm going to eat the animals. I'm going to eat the sweet little innocent animals. Oh, gosh. But come to find out, plants have feelings too. So I've been looking at research on plants recently, and they have little lives, little lives, little social lives even, and when you cut on them and stuff like that, they feel pain. They exhibit distress and anxiety and all of these things, so I don't know, it's any way you go, you're going to be hurting somebody when you're eating food, unless you're straight up eating fruit and you know.
Now, I have never really intensely covered Hungry Fat Chick. She also is known by Candy, like that's her actual name. Her YouTube channel is Hungry Fat Chick. I've never really covered her on my channel because for the most part, like, I think she's very aware of what her channel is, which is just like people come in to watch a big girl eat lots of food. So if you're not familiar with her, that's mostly what her channel is about, is like mukbangs. It's usually some form of takeout, some form of fast food, some sort of all of that, and in large amounts. And I've known about her for a while, but also over time she's also collabed with people like Nikocado Avocado. She's even like shouted me out in some live streams she's done before. So I've been aware of her. I mostly just like don't talk about her because she's always seemed very self-aware of like what her channel is. And at the end of the day, like, regardless of how you feel about if she eats too much or you care about what she eats, whoever, whatever, I feel like she is a relatively genuinely sweet woman. So anyways, she's been occasionally doing vlogs lately. I think she hasn't really felt up to filming mukbangs. And so she's just been doing these vlogs where she like sits down and just talks for sometimes like 10 minutes, sometimes 30, 40 minutes. And most recently she came out with this vlog where she wanted to let everybody know she was starting the carnivore diet. Now, I have a lot of questions about this. She hasn't actually started anything with the carnivore diet because she doesn't plan to do that until 3 weeks from now.
But I want you guys to know that I'm actually really, really excited about this. And I've set a date. Okay, I've set my date that I'm going to begin. So I've actually given myself 3 weeks from today, and today being Tuesday, tomorrow being Wednesday. Or wait a minute, what the freaking day is it? And I'm giving myself 3 weeks to kind of get my head in the right space and be ready. I'm gonna have my freezer loaded up and ready to go, my pantry cleared out, everything, all the condiments gone. I think the only thing I might keep is some mustard, because, I mean, yeah, it's still a plant item. I guess being scared of the cold turkey, I'm giving myself time to get my head in the proper space for it. You know, I've got the date, Independence Day, coming up July 4th. I'm going to begin the battle for my independence.
So we'll see if she actually does start this carnivore diet at any point. She sounds very enthusiastic about it, but she has yet to actually start it. Doesn't want to start until Independence Day, July 4th, where she's going to get her own independence. I guess my concerns about the way Candy is talking in her video are my concerns about some people who follow the carnivore diet in general, which is that she's getting a lot of this information from like rando internet doctors.
According to Dr. Ken Berry, you know, all of that stuff is all the things that we've been told about diet, you know, it's kind of not correct. You know, it's not correct. You know, we've been kind of scared up about certain things that aren't true.
And people like Joe Rogan from the internet. And listen, I don't know about any of those people's credibility, but I think anytime you're making a decision about your own health and your own health care and what you're putting into your body and things like that, it's probably best to go and meet with a doctor who like can assess you in real life, you know? And that is one thing that Candy mentions in her video, which is that she doesn't have her own doctor yet. She doesn't have somebody that she sees just for herself.
And as soon as possible, I don't know when, because I still don't know who the heck my doctor is right now. I want to get some blood work done and kind of check my numbers from the beginning. She
also makes a jab at the vegetarians and vegans who follow her and says that she's going to upset them. But it's okay, everybody, because plants have feelings too, okay, besties? She learned that. So I don't know, we'll see if Candy actually ends up doing this whole carnivore situation type of deal. I'm curious what that will look like. She said she may even still do some like mukbangs here and there, which I don't know what that looks like. Do you just eat like a huge plate of steak? I don't know. Ground beef? Just like, a huge cereal bowl full of ground beef and just spoon it in to your mouth? I don't know. I don't know what that would look like. I mean, I'm sure that somebody would love to watch that. But yeah, I don't know. This feels like a departure from me, and I really do hope that, like, you know, Candy gets whatever help she needs. And it seems like, you know, just recently she was in the hospital and things like that. So I hope she does get some, like, good help in terms of, like, her health and everything like that. Like, I don't want to take away from that because it does seem like her health is in not a great place. But it's just like, I can't escape Carnivore. And if y'all have been following me the past few months, I recently started covering a YouTuber called Life Plus Cindy. And for the most part, nothing about Cindy's like carnivore diet or approach to the carnivore diet feels too crazy after you get past the fact that in her videos, most of the things she's showing is just like her eating a hamburger, her eating just bacon, her eating just some eggs. There was the one video where she went to a restaurant, I think it was like Texas Roadhouse or something like that, and she got a steak and she ordered the salad that came with it to be just cheese and bacon, no salad.
Also, when I'm at Texas Roadhouse and I need to order carnivore, I order a house salad, but I order it with no lettuce or vegetables, just egg, bacon, cheese, and ranch dressing. And this is what a carnivore salad looks like, y'all. And it's delicious.
And she also got a side of loaded mashed potatoes. Hold the potatoes.
And then for my second side, I ordered loaded mashed potatoes with no potatoes. So it's just butter, sour cream, cheese, and bacon. So there's nothing for you if you eat at Texas Roadhouse and you're on the carnivore diet.
Like, I was just like, this is so goofy. I cannot imagine being the server who took your order. But also, like, work. I don't know if I was actually doing this diet, if I would have the confidence to go into a restaurant and order a loaded baked potato, hold the potato. But yeah, the Life Plus Cindy carnivore diet doesn't feel as extreme as a person who I actually, in my very first video I ever made about Life Plus Cindy, I made this video that was like, here are some YouTubers I watch that aren't Amberlynn and Chantal, right? It's so funny because everybody talks about Life Plus Cindy since that, and a lot of people have made like a lot of assumptions about the audience I brought to Life Plus Cindy, but nobody ever talks about the other YouTuber I covered in that video, which is a woman named Darlene Michaud. And I watch a lot of Darlene's videos on Twitch. We do a lot of reactions over there. So for those of you that join me on Twitch, this is a little bit probably redundant to you, or you've probably watched these things or heard these things with me. But Darlene takes the carnivore diet to like extremes. We've watched her talk a lot about like eating just like chunks of frozen butter.
But I'm so excited about the ghee. The thing for me is the texture. Now, I don't know if that's going to be different with unsalted versus salted, but the texture, it's like crunchy. I eat it cold from the fridge, and I did have a couple pieces out that kind of got room temp, and there was still a little bit of a crunch, but cold from the fridge, that shit is so incredibly good, and it's just going to be better when there's a little less salt in it. It just has like a crunchy sound and a feel to it. The texture is right up my alley. I don't know what to compare it to, but this is like butter candy. I mean, it's just so good. And I am now to mostly butter, very little meat. When I look at all these videos, that's the way it seems to go. At first, I was still eating my 2 pounds of meat per day and just adding butter, like 2 sticks of butter per day. Yes, I can eat 3,000 calories a day and lose weight. It has nothing to do, calories has nothing to do with this. And then I slowly started not wanting as much beef. And I was still eating that same amount of butter. I start every day not planning to eat any meat at all. I eat butter. I start with butter. I eat butter all day. If I end up wanting some beef, I'll eat some beef. I've gone as much as 2 or 3 days with eating just butter.
And in fact, she talks a lot about how most of her days, like, she'll just eat butter. If she's not craving ground beef or any other type of meat, she'll just do butter. And it's interesting because there's really a lot to dive into with Miss Darlene. Like, I swear to gosh, she is wild when it comes to this carnivore life and this carnivore situation type of deal. I'm just thinking of like some of the wild things I've heard her talk about. Like, for instance, she talked about how she mostly eats ground beef and butter, but if she gets a craving for chicken, she'll just go to like a Costco or a Walmart and get like a bag, you know, the bagged rotisserie chicken, eat the chicken, and then drink the chicken juices in the bottom of the bag.
And I had picked up a rotisserie chicken. I felt like if I didn't have chicken today, I would die. And I ate almost half of the chicken. All the skin. I even drank the liquid that sits in the bottom of the bag. They come in a bag now.
So it's just like stuff like that. She also is happy to answer questions about her bowel movements because a lot of people seem to be in her comments concerned about if she's able to poop or like what her poop is like, which like y'all know I love a pee pee poo poo channel, but she had an answer for that.
Does this diet make you constipated? Forgive me for asking. Now she needs forgiveness. That was quite the question. Instead of just saying, are you constipated? No. But people think that they're constipated because you barely go when you're eating beef, because beef, it dissolves mostly in your body and comes out as pee. People don't realize that. So you can go days without potty duties in that direction, and then when you go is very little, and people don't get it. They think that because they're not going, they're constantly constipated, but you're not. It's because you have no waste. All that beef and the butter, but the beef, it's digested so fully because it's what your body wants. There's no waste, there's no toxic shit that has to come out in the form of shit. Let's just go ahead and say it that way. So, so there's very little waste. And, if you're used to what you're used to, there's a lot of waste coming out of you. That's all stuff your body didn't need and said, we got to get rid of this shit. So, very little waste. So that's a very big difference than constipation. Constipation is when you're full of shit and it won't come out. And, but with meat, it's all being just digested and coming out as pee. Okay? And it's a diuretic also.
Now, why this woman really truly believes that ground beef is some kind of diuretic, and also because it's a diuretic in her mind, the beef melts and turns into piss. I just don't know, besties. I really don't know. It's wild. But anyways, Darlene seems to have had success on her diet. One of the things she talks about a lot is like all the things that this has allegedly cured for her. I feel like just the other day I heard her talking about how her like cataracts or like something, the issue that she had with her eyes was cured from this. She gets a lot of joint relief from this. It's allegedly helped her with so much, and she's also allegedly not concerned with losing weight, although she does bring up losing weight a lot. But the thing about Darlene that ties back to what I was talking about when it comes to Hungry Fat Chick is that there have been so many times where Darlene has essentially said, like, don't worry about, like, going to your doctor and getting your doctor's approval. Like, she always is throwing out these, like, internet doctors and their recommendations and things like that. And I just think that that's, like, dangerous to do, right? Like, Darlene isn't a medical expert for her to, like, recommend these other people, even if they are medical experts or have medical degrees or whoever, whatever. It feels like a lot, and it feels like, you know, making any kind of decision about your healthcare is something that you should do in tandem with your doctor. Like, she would have people in her comments saying, like, hey, like, I have really high blood pressure. I'm concerned about, like, this raising my blood pressure, raising my cholesterol, whoever, whatever. And she's like, who cares? So it just, like, feels very much on the extreme. It feels like it's on the extreme. And these three girlies are alone. For whatever reason, I've had other carnivore things recommended to me. I try not to click on them. There is this one person, she doesn't have a lot of followers or anything, but I, like, literally saw her making a yopsicle, which is like an egg popsicle. I don't know. It felt like a lot to me. And it's just a lot. And obviously there's probably extremes to everything, right? Like when I did keto, people took keto to the extreme as well. And that wasn't my preferred way to go about doing it. but I've just been so fascinated. I can't look away. I can't stop watching. And I don't know, I just needed to share this all with you, if that's okay. If that's fine. I just needed to share my thoughts about all the carnivore stuff that's been popping up, because I feel like certainly this just has to be me. Like, I just have to be in this weird corner of the internet where this keeps popping up, right? Like this is not everybody's YouTube recommended page. But for whatever reason, right now it's mine. Right now it's mine. So, yeah, I think that is all I have. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was like a little away from what I normally do, but I just had to get it out. I had to get it out like Darlene has to get her beef piss out. You know what I'm saying? So here we are. Here we are. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. If today was your first video, well, welcome. And make sure to subscribe down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I love y'all so much, and I can't wait to see y'all in my next video. Bye!